Go back and better than ever from the coast. Good to see the squad back together again. Kmart is rolling. J-Mac, Jeff Saturday. Basketball squad is in effect as well. As we got Monica, we got Wendy, but we had Wemby last night. Spurs and the Lakers. Lakers playing without LeBron, without Luka, without Reeves.
Oh, that's fun.
So just enjoy watching Victor Wembanyama. Everything I'm about to show you happens in the first quarter. Well, first of all, that's the Euro walk as opposed to the Euro step.
He started at half court right there?
Yeah, but they gave it to him. Now, hold on a second. Now we got a little Wemby. Watch him working on Jake Laravia. Look.
Oh!
The left hand.
Gracious.
Okay, Wemby.
Yeah, but how you going to D that up, bro?
We're still in the quarter. Watch this. Watch Wemby. He could do it from inside. He could do it from outside. So he's got 17 consecutive points in the first quarter, and he's not done. Not done. Stephon Castle up. Wemby, 21 in the quarter. Still in the first quarter. Wembanyama's got 23 points in the paint.
Oh, go to work.
Working.
The touch.
25 points in the quarter. Spurs by a million. Stay with it.
Roll, J-Mac.
Second quarter, Spurs up 25. De'Aaron Fox understands the assignment. Don't lay it in.
Don't do him like that.
Wemby to 29. Later in the quarter, watch the left hand.
I mean, you literally have no chance.
At least the Lakers fans got a good show, though.
Yeah, that's what they deserve. Dylan Harper throws it up. Wembanyama throws it down. He's got 37 in the first half. Yeah, Spurs up 39. Third quarter, the 29-point lead. Wembanyama
Finished him.
40 points, 12 rebounds. He barely played in the third quarter. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. He scored 40 points in 26 minutes.
He didn't sweat.
It was his second game with 40 points in under 30 minutes played, already tied for the third most such games in the last 70 years. And then he had this fascinating response when asked about wanting to play versus sitting in the fourth quarter.
Games, you got to have, the greed. I mean, every game you have to have this greed, to want more every time. Because, at all times, it doesn't matter who's on the court. There's somebody who's going to want to stop you from doing what you do out there. So you got to be greedy.
We got Wemby, we got Wendy, we got Monica McNutt early this morning. Monica, I will make my statement in the form of a question to you. Has Wembanyama become the best show in the NBA in his third year?
It feels like it for sure, Greeny. Yeah, I would go ahead and do that just because I think we are all still marveling at the combination of obviously his frame and what he's able to do. I mean, look at that highlight. As you so eloquently explained, he did it inside, outside, mid-range, like whichever way you want it, Victor Wembanyama has been able to deliver it. And what I think has made this so fascinating in terms of the enthusiasm around the Spurs is that when you look at this supporting class, this is this is a team that you feel on both sides of the basketball when they're playing their best.
Wendy, what are the right things to say right this minute about both Wembanyama and this team he plays for in the West?
Well, first off, he has more 40-point games now than Tim Duncan did. Did you hear what I just said? He's got more 40-point games than Tim Duncan. Okay, that's right. Number one. Number two, I don't think he was too impressed with the Jake Laravia, Maxi Kleber, Luke Kennard defensive system that JJ Redick put out there on him last night. He kind of decided that if you're going to put that out there on me, I'm going to do these things to you. And he is at the level where he can do that. Now, the Lakers were so sort of out of place that they just basically started running zones. And he started making threes. I have a saying, I developed it sort of last year, and I'm sticking with it, is we don't put ceilings on Victor Wembanyama, which is if you say to me, can Victor Wembanyama do X? My answer almost always is going to be yes, because I'm not going to put a ceiling on him. So the Spurs team has some flaws. Last night's game was punted by the Lakers. They were missing all 5 starters. Don't pay attention to that so much. The Spurs team has some flaws, but guess what? There's a bunch of teams in the league that are very good and have flaws. This is a relatively wide open. Many years we would get to the All-Star break and I would say, guys, let's be honest. There's only 3.5 teams that can win the whole thing. I think there's 5 teams that can win the East. And while I've got Oklahoma City winning the West, there's 3 or 4 teams that could win the West if the right things happen, and the Spurs are one of them.
We're going to get to the East a little later in the hour, Wendy, and we'll run those down. But very quickly, Monica, would you right now pencil in San Antonio as the biggest threat to Oklahoma City in the Western Conference?
You know, Greeny, this conversation popped up about a month ago, and you waver on it. I'm not ready to give it to the Spurs just yet because I'm not going to disregard the Denver Nuggets in terms of Nikola Jokic and their collective experience. But this is an argument that is absolutely rational in terms of what the Spurs have already done to the Oklahoma City Thunder and how unique Wemby is.
All right, both of you.
I know.
Victor Wembanyama wasn't losing anything except for minutes in a blowout. He had 40 points, 12 rebounds in just 26 minutes as the Spurs absolutely smashed the Lakers in LA. Now, LA was playing without LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, but still, Wemby an absolute force continuing his MVP caliber season. Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. helping us this morning on SportsCenter to break it down. David, it felt like Wemby could have scored 100 last night if he played a full complement of minutes. Can you put into context what we saw from him in that first quarter, first half?
Well, the fastest player ever to get 25 points in the play-by-play era. I think that sort of sums it up right there. Like, we look at those old videos of Wilt Chamberlain in black and white and he's playing against guys. He's like, oh, that doesn't count. Those are like kind of plumbers. If you put the video from last night in black and white, Wemby looked like Wilt Chamberlain doing this to the guys in the 50s. That's exactly what he was doing last night. Yes, he was 3 for 4 from 3, and 8 for 9 overall. But look at the shot chart. It's a couple of threes out there and a whole bunch of circles right around the paint. This is the Victor Wembanyama that terrifies the rest of the league. The guy who is aggressive and is not taking no for an answer, getting to the foul line. Like, when he is shooting those shots closer to the basket, this dude is absolutely unstoppable. What we saw last night from Victor Wembanyama is the blueprint of what he can do for the rest of the league, for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable, wild, invoking the name Wilt Chamberlain. And it makes sense. Maybe we should coin a new nickname for Wemby. How about the French Dipper? French Dipper. Big Dipper was Wilt Chamberlain's.
Okay.
We'll think about it.
We'll workshop it.
LeBron James did not play last night. No Luka either as well. But for LeBron, the absence makes him ineligible for end-of-season awards. David, LeBron had been named to an All-NBA team for a record-setting 21 straight seasons. His 21 All-NBA selections are more than 11 current franchises have on their entire roster, including the Cavs, who have 10 of their selections from James himself. So what do you make of this rule that just came into effect a few years ago that players need to play at least 65 games to qualify for end-of-season awards?
Well, first of all, let's salute LeBron James. We don't have to spend enough time on this 21 that is probably never getting touched. The last time he did not make All-NBA, Usher had just put out Confessions, and Cooper Flagg was not born yet. That's how long ago that was. Now, two things can be true. LeBron James probably was not going to get voted for an All-NBA this year, but also the 65-game rule is nonsense. It's a silly rule, and this goes back to last year when Victor Wembanyama actually was out with the blood clots. He should have still probably got Defensive Player of the Year. We're still leading the league in blocks. I mean, the rule just does not make any sense when you have voters who can parse this out on their own. They're smart enough to factor in missed games. Look at somebody like Nikola Jokic, who is probably a game or two away from not being put on All-NBA. Can you imagine Jokic not getting All-NBA this year? It just does not really fit logically. And then you got to think about the monetary stuff that's going on here, that players are risking not getting super maxes because of this 65-game rule when sometimes they still deserve it. I think the rule should go, and you should just look at players' seasons in totality to decide if they get All-NBA or not.
These are his confessions this morning on SportsCenter. Anscape.
I think our main priority was just coming out and playing hard and playing defense and trying to get some easy looks on offense end. So I think that's what we try to do, and it didn't end up being where we wanted to, but I think we played well.
We're 8-3 in the last 11 going into the last two games. Obviously, you've lost 2 straight. How important is Thursday night going into the break, get a win against Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the most important. So we got to, end the first stretch of the season off right, and hopefully come back with the second stretch with a empty head and open mind and ready to win some games and get some playoffs.
Listen, when you're my age, a year goes pretty quickly. Obviously, you're a young guy, but when you think back to a year ago compared to tonight, just the confidence, the aggressiveness. You're a different player, right?
Yeah, for sure. Feel different. Feel way more comfortable. My team, my teammates believe in me, my coaches believe in me. That's all I've wanted. So, It's just good to get out there and take advantage of it.
JJ, Spurs Rout said that there were a couple of defensive possessions on Victor Wembanyama in the first half that he really liked your physicality, and I'm just curious, like, what's it like guarding Victor Wembanyama?
It's something else for sure. I'm one of the smaller guys on the floor, guarding the tallest guy in the league, so it's definitely a challenge, but I'm up for anything.
When you had the sequence with Olenek, where you get the block and then you get the three on the other end, what is the part of it that you get more satisfaction out of? Making a play defensively, making a play.
Yeah, I'd say defensively. I mean, that's my role that I want to excel at, especially on this team. We have a lot of guys, Luka, LeBron, and AR. So those guys can go get buckets and whenever we need them. But they need guys like myself, Vando, Jake, guys that can defend, and definitely get more satisfaction out of that.
I think there's been maybe 3 games this year with the entire rotation healthy, 8 games with AR, LeBron, and Luka. I mean, if you can get healthy, what do you think the ceiling is for this team?
I know that our team believes that we can be contenders and make a deep playoff run. So we all believe that, and once we get healthy and stuff like that, it's just gonna come down to playing hard and playing smart and winning games.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
JJ, you knew it was going to be a little bit of a different game. Any takeaways? Anything that you?
Not really.
Do you relay that message? Kind of hey, let's move on, focus on Thursday, and just not to throw it away completely, but.
I mean, there's always things you can learn, but we got blitzed from the beginning. It felt like you have some of these games, and I don't know the belief level of the guys that were out there. But you have some of these games that you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to get more shots tonight, and you just come out with zero intent defensively and zero execution. And that was Wemby blitzed us, and we didn't execute what we were trying to do. And when he didn't have the ball and they drove, it was like one-on-one, no help defense, 44 points in the paint in the first half. I mean, that's, we could have showed 18 clips of us not playing our defense. So, not a lot to take away other than, we suck at defense.
You've been a part of thousands of scouting reports at this time as a player or a coach. What are the unique challenges of Wembanyama, when you're trying to prepare it, kind of like the way that he started the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a good job historically. He's had good games. Again, I'm not saying like we've shut him down, but we've limited him with our coverages against him. We just didn't execute those, and he was very aggressive. As aggressive to start a game as I've seen him, both in attacking the basket and in shooting without hesitation from three. Just really, put his imprint on the game in that first half. And with the guys we had out there, it was hard to create shots at the rim. I think we took 5. We were 2 for 5 at the rim in the first half. Just not a lot of rim attempts for us. They're one of the best, if not the best, at protecting the rim. But just weren't able to generate that. And we scored, whatever it was, 55, but had 14 non-paint twos, and that's kind of figured there's going to be some of that tonight. But it was, to me, it was the defense.
Staying on Wemby, his first quarter I think was a franchise record for the Spurs in terms of points for any player, and I know you mentioned you guys had some success the first matchup against him in particular this season, but yeah, he's going to be a force. He's in his third year, you're in your second year coaching. Just how do you view him as someone that will be a player that you and the Lakers will have to contend with kind of for the duration of your coaching career?
Yeah, I don't really think about that, but yeah, I know right now we got to contend with him, and he's one of the 5 best players in the world. He's put that stamp on himself, and it's more than, to me, it's like more than the counting stats with him, because there's such an avoidance of him defensively, and there's an awareness you have to have from him defensively. And Sean has done a good job this year with their defense, and he's the center of that, and he impacts the game in ways that don't show up in a box score. On top of that, he's one of one as a human, and you can see the collective belief and collective culture that they've established over the last few years with him.
JJ, Bronny played with a lot of confidence in the fourth quarter. He hasn't really been with the G League team. He hasn't been playing a lot. What did you sort of make of his readiness, and what did you just kind of generally think about the way he sort of attacked?
Well, I think the takeaway, in terms of the physicality that we wanted on defense, he had 2 really good possessions in the first half against Wemby.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Could anyone have possibly imagined that a season which began with such tremendous optimism, elevated expectations, and championship aspirations would suddenly present us with a night like last night, where the Lakers were completely and utterly dominated at home by the San Antonio Spurs in an absolutely shocking and humiliating 136-108. Defeat that exposed every single fragility, weakness, and limitation of a roster decimated by injuries and appearing completely lost on the court against one of the youngest, most talented, and most promising teams in the entire league. How is it even conceivable that a franchise with the illustrious tradition, championship pedigree, and unparalleled grandeur of the Lakers could reach such a devastating low point of being embarrassed and humiliated in this manner before their own faithful fans? Especially when we consider that this was their final home game before the All-Star break and represented an absolutely crucial opportunity to demonstrate that. They still possess the championship DNA, winning mentality, and competitive spirit that has always been the defining characteristic of this legendary organization throughout its storied history. And isn't it profoundly concerning, deeply troubling, and genuinely revealing that the Lakers entered the court without virtually any of their principal players, key contributors, and essential rotation pieces, with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Havies, Marcus Smart, and DeAndre Ayton all absent due to various injuries and rest protocols, forcing head coach JJ Redick to deploy a completely experimental and untested starting lineup that included Kobe Buffer, Luke Kennard, Jake Laravia, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. Wouldn't this be the absolutely perfect moment for us to conduct an honest, comprehensive, and unflinching evaluation of where the Lakers truly stand in this season? Particularly after the brutally candid and somewhat shocking words delivered by LeBron himself following the disappointing loss to the Thunder, when he deliberately and pointedly distinguished between championship contending teams and teams that merely make the playoffs, placing his own Lakers squarely in the second, less flattering category. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're absolutely loving this comprehensive, in-depth breakdown and analysis of the Lakers' situation during this absolutely critical and defining moment of the season. Last night's devastating and comprehensive defeat against the Spurs was significantly more than just another loss in a season that has been characterized by frustrating inconsistencies, missed opportunities, and unrealized potential. It was essentially a cruel and unforgiving mirror that reflected every single structural deficiency, organizational weakness, and fundamental problem that has persistently plagued and haunted the Lakers throughout this entire campaign. Victor Wembanyama, who has already firmly established his dominance and reputation as one of the most destructive, unstoppable, and game-changing forces in the modern NBA, simply imposed his will and did whatever he pleased against the Lakers' defense that appeared completely disorganized, utterly confused, and without any coherent plan or strategy to contain the French phenomenon who continues to rewrite the record books with each passing game. Wembanyama's absolutely staggering 40 points in just 27 minutes of playing time, with an incredible 37 of those points coming in the first half alone, represented not merely an individual brilliance and exceptional performance, but also a complete and total failure of the Lakers' defensive systems, schemes, and personnel who seemed completely incapable of offering any meaningful resistance, effective coverage, or strategic adjustment against a player who single-handedly dictated the entire rhythm, pace, and ultimate outcome of the contest. The manner in which Wembanyama completely dominated every single aspect of the game, from scoring and rebounding to rim protection, shot blocking, and even playmaking, served as a painful and embarrassing reminder that the Lakers remain considerably distant from the level of excellence, consistency, and tactical sophistication necessary to compete effectively against the league's elite teams and legitimate championship contenders. I believe that nights like these, however painful and demoralizing they might be in the immediate aftermath, ultimately prove to be extremely valuable and educational experiences for exposing fundamental problems and systemic issues that might not become so glaringly evident during victories against weaker, less talented opponents. The silver lining and genuinely positive aspect of this otherwise humiliating and dispiriting defeat came through the individual performances and contributions of several young Lakers talents who finally received the precious opportunity to showcase their abilities, demonstrate their potential, and prove their worth when given significant minutes and meaningful responsibility in actual game situations rather than garbage time appearances. Bronny James, who has faced constant criticism, intense scrutiny, and unrealistic expectations since being drafted by the Lakers, effectively utilized his 25 minutes of court time to score 12 points and display authentic flashes of the raw potential basketball IQ and competitive spirit that justified his selection in the first place, clearly demonstrating that when freed from excessive pressure, unreasonable expectations, and the suffocating weight of his famous surname, he possesses the ability to contribute positively and meaningfully to the team's success. Drew Timm, who has consistently been a revelation and standout performer with the South Bay Lakers in the game, led all Lakers scorers with an efficient and well-earned 14 points, while continuing to demonstrate precisely why he deserves a legitimate and sustained opportunity in the main rotation, particularly considering his proven ability to score points efficiently, his advanced understanding of offensive spacing and movement, and his basketball intelligence that extends far beyond what simple statistics and box score numbers can adequately capture. Kobe Bufkin recently signed by the Lakers organization after his absolutely dominant and eye-catching performances with the South Bay Lakers affiliate. marqué his much anticipated debut as a starter, and despite not producing spectacular offensive numbers or eye-popping statistics, displayed exactly the type of defensive intensity, disruptive energy, and competitive fire that the Lakers have been desperately searching for and attempting to cultivate throughout this inconsistent season. Thinking about it more deeply, perhaps it's precisely in challenging moments like these that we discover which players truly possess the mental toughness, resilience, and unwavering determination necessary to contribute meaningfully in adverse situations and pressure-filled circumstances. One of the most historically significant and emotionally profound storylines that emerged from this week has absolutely nothing to do with what actually transpired on the basketball court, but rather concerns the official end of one of the most remarkable, unprecedented, and awe-inspiring streaks in the entire history of professional basketball. LeBron James, by missing his 18th game of the season during Tuesday's defeat against the Spurs, officially lost his eligibility for all end-of-season awards and honors, including the prestigious All-NBA team selection, thus bringing to a close an absolutely extraordinary and seemingly impossible streak of 21 consecutive years of being selected to the All-NBA team. This incredible achievement, which began during his sophomore season in 2004-05 and extended uninterrupted through the 2002-425 campaign, represents far more than just an impressive statistical milestone or record book entry. It symbolizes the complete decades of sustained excellence, unwavering consistency, and elite-level performance at the absolute highest level of professional basketball competition anywhere in the world. The remarkable fact that LeBron successfully maintained this standard of individual excellence for such an extended period, successfully navigating through multiple different eras of basketball evolution. Significant rule changes, tactical innovations, strategic developments, and complete transformations in how the modern game is played and understood renders this streak one of the most underappreciated, overlooked, and genuinely impressive achievements of his legendary and career. The cruel irony surrounding this situation is that this historic streak came to an end not because of any dramatic decline in his individual performance, statistical production, or overall impact on winning basketball, but rather due to a relatively recent rule implemented by the league that requires a minimum of 65 games played for eligibility for major awards a requirement that never posed any challenge or obstacle for LeBron throughout the prime years of his career, but which now, at the age of 41, with his body demanding increased rest, recovery, chemie, and careful load management, has become an insurmountable barrier and practical impossibility. I believe that this moment officially marks the beginning of the transitional phase of LeBron's illustrious career, where the focus necessarily shifts away from individual accolades, personal achievements, and statistical milestones toward a complete dedication to collective success, team chemistry, and the relentless pursuit of his elusive 5th NBA championship. Conversely, the 2026 NBA All-Star Game brought extremely positive and encouraging news for the Lakers organization and their devoted fan base worldwide, with the franchise being proudly represented by 2 of their brightest superstars in the prestigious event scheduled to take place this coming Sunday in Los Angeles at the state-of-the-art Intuit Dome. Luka Doncic earned selection as a starter for Team USA Stripes, definitively confirming his status as one of the most dominant, popular, and marketable players in the entire league, while LeBron James secured his absolutely remarkable 22nd consecutive All-Star Game selection as a reserve player for the same squad. The innovative and exciting new format of the All-Star Game, which for the first time in the event's distinguished history, will feature a competitive tournament structure involving 3 separate teams, 2 composed of American players and 1 consisting of international talent, promises to deliver a level of genuine competitiveness, intensity, and entertainment value that has been noticeably absent from the exhibition in recent years due to lackadaisical effort and minimal defensive intensity. For the Lakers organization, having 2 representatives participating in the All-Star Game carries particular significance that extends well beyond simple individual recognition, serving as important validation and confirmation that despite all the difficulties, inconsistencies, and frustrations experienced throughout this turbulent season, they continue to possess elite-level talent that commands respect and admiration from fans, fellow players, and knowledgeable media members throughout the basketball community. The prospect of Luka and LeBron playing together on the same team during the All-Star festivities also provides an intriguing and potentially revealing preview of the chemistry on-court dynamics and collaborative potential they might develop and harness when both are completely healthy, fully focused, and properly prepared for the intensity and pressure of playoff basketball competition. Thinking about it from a broader perspective, marquee events like the All-Star Game often serve as important catalysts and sources of inspiration for stronger, more cohesive, and more successful second-half performances during the regular season. Jackson Hayes added another fascinating and entertaining chapter to his developing season by earning selection to participate in the prestigious AT&T Slam Dunk Contest during All-Star Saturday night, joining San Antonio's Carter Bryant, Keyshawn Johnson, and Jays Richardson in what promises to be one of the most athletically gifted and creatively innovative competitions in recent memory. Hayes' selection for this high-profile showcase event is particularly noteworthy and meaningful, considering that he hasn't always been consistently reliable in terms of playing time allocation, statistical production, or overall impact during regular season games. But his exceptional athletic ability, explosive leaping capacity, and natural creativity for spectacular dunking displays have always represented the most compelling and exciting aspects of his overall skill set. Standing at an imposing 7 feet tall with truly explosive athleticism and remarkable body control for someone of his size, Hayes possesses all the necessary physical tools, creative imagination, and competitive drive required to compete at the highest level of this prestigious competition, and his participation offers a unique and valuable opportunity for him to display his remarkable talents on a national stage while gaining increased recognition, media exposure, and fan appreciation. The fact that this year's contest will take place in Los Angeles, essentially serving as the home venue for the Lakers organization, adds both additional pressure and expectation, as well as an incredible opportunity for Hayes to perform before his home crowd and potentially win over new supporters and admirers with his aerial artistry and creative expression. I believe that high-profile competitions like the Slam Dunk contest can prove extremely beneficial and confidence-building for players like Hayes, who sometimes require special moments and unique platforms to gain the self-assurance and positive momentum that can translate directly into improved performance, increased playing time, and greater contribution during regular season competition. Jake Laravia has emerged as one of the most genuinely positive, surprising, and encouraging storylines of this entire Lakers season, gradually establishing himself as an absolutely fundamental piece in JJ Redick's rotation while potentially earning a permanent starting position through his consistent effort, versatility, and reliability. The talented young forward, who has distinguished himself as the only Lakers player to participate in every single game of this season, has consistently demonstrated the exact type of defensive versatility, competitive intensity, physical toughness, and tactical understanding that Coach Redick values most highly in his systematic approach to basketball strategy and player development. His recent standout performances, including impressive scoring outputs of 21, 26, and 17 points in crucial and high-pressure contests, have conclusively shown that he possesses not only the technical skill and basketball ability to contribute meaningfully when given opportunities, but also the mental fortitude, competitive mindset, and clutch gene necessary to excel and stand out during moments of increased pressure, heightened stakes, and elevated responsibility. Laravia's remarkable ability to positively impact games across multiple different areas, effectively defending various positions and player types, consistently making important shots and timely creating scoring opportunities for teammates through intelligent passing, and providing constant energy and hustle on both ends of the floor makes him precisely the type of valuable, well-rounded player that successful teams desperately need and rely upon in their regular rotations throughout long, grueling seasons. His inspiring journey from being a first-round draft selection who initially struggled to find consistent opportunities and playing time during his first few professional seasons to becoming a reliable contributor and potential starter for one of the NBA's most storied franchises represents a compelling story of perseverance, dedication, continuous improvement, and professional development that deserves recognition and appreciation from basketball fans everywhere. With Austin Reeves still working his way back from his nagging calf injury and Rui Hachimura dealing with his own physical setbacks and health concerns, Laravia has not only seized the opportunity that was presented to him, but has taken full advantage of it in truly impressive fashion through hard work, preparation, and unwavering determination. Thinking about it more carefully, valuable discoveries and pleasant surprises like Laravia often represent the crucial difference between teams that merely qualify for the playoffs and teams that possess the depth, versatility, and overall talent necessary to make serious championship runs. The Lakers' upcoming commitment against the Dallas Mavericks this Thursday represents significantly more than just another routine game on the regular season schedule. It serves as the final opportunity before the All-Star break to demonstrate convincingly that they can effectively and secure victories against teams that are desperately fighting to maintain relevance and respectability in the competitive Western Conference standings. The Mavericks arrive at this crucial matchup carrying a deeply disappointing record of 19-34, currently occupying the lowly 12th position in the Western Conference and enduring what can only be described as one of the most frustrating and underperforming seasons in their recent organizational history. For the Lakers, who currently hold the 5th position in the West with a respectable but not spectacular record of 32-20, this represents exactly the type of game that teams with legitimate title, aspirations, and championship expectations simply must win decisively, particularly considering that they will be playing in their home venue with theoretically the majority of their key players available and healthy. The final game before the All-Star recess traditionally carries a different energy and atmosphere, with many players already mentally focused on the well-deserved rest and relaxation that awaits them. But it can also serve as an important opportunity for teams like the Lakers to build positive momentum, team chemistry, and individual confidence that can extend into and benefit their performance during the crucial second half of the season. The fact that the Mavericks have struggled consistently with internal chemistry issues, tactical inconsistency, and various locker room problems throughout this campaign should, at least in theory, make things considerably easier and more manageable for the Lakers. But as we have witnessed repeatedly and disappointingly throughout this unpredictable season, absolutely nothing can be taken for granted or assumed to be automatic. I believe that games like this upcoming contest serve as genuine tests of character, mental toughness, and organizational commitment, where the fundamental differences between serious, focused teams and mediocre, inconsistent squads become most apparent and revealing perhaps the most honest, introspective, and potentially painful reflection that emerges from this comprehensive analysis is that LeBron James' candid comments following the disappointing loss to the Thunder may have been considerably more accurate, insightful, and prophetic than many devoted Lakers fans would prefer to acknowledge or accept, when he deliberately and clearly distinguished between championship contending teams like the Thunder and teams that make the playoffs like his own Lakers. He wasn't merely making a casual observation or engaging in routine post-game commentary, but rather offering a brutally honest, unflinchingly realistic assessment of the current state and competitive level of his franchise. The Lakers, despite possessing undeniable individual talent, rich historical tradition, and championship pedigree, have shown repeatedly throughout this season that they currently lack the consistency, roster depth, tactical execution, and mental toughness necessary to compete at the highest level in a sustained, reliable manner against the league's elite teams. The manner in which they were systematically outplayed and outworked by the Thunder and subsequently humiliated and dominated by the Spurs are not isolated incidents or random occurrences, but rather clear reflections of deeper, more fundamental problems that extend from roster construction and talent evaluation to system implementation and game execution. The fact that they currently occupy their respectable 5th position in the Western Conference with a solid 32-20 record might appear adequate and satisfactory on the surface level. But when properly contextualized within the framework of organizational expectations, available talent, and championship aspirations, it reveals a team that has consistently and frustratingly underutilized its considerable potential throughout the campaign. The gap between where the Lakers currently stand and where they realistically need to be positioned to qualify as legitimate championship contenders is significant and concerning, and with precious time continuing to slip away during this crucial season, every single remaining game becomes increasingly important and essential for determining whether they can make the necessary adjustments, improvements, and tactical refinements required for a serious and sustained playoff run. Thinking about it from a completely objective standpoint, perhaps LeBron's brutal honesty and unflinching assessment represents exactly the type of wake-up call and reality check that this talented but underperforming team desperately needs to hear in order to finally elevate their level of play, competitive intensity, and overall execution to the demanding standard required for genuine success in the highly competitive playoff environment. The broader implications and long-term consequences of this current situation extend far beyond just this individual season and touch upon fundamental questions about the organization's direction, strategic vision, and championship timeline that will likely influence major decisions during the upcoming offseason and beyond. With LeBron James now 41 years old and clearly in the twilight phase of his legendary career, every season becomes increasingly precious and potentially final, adding enormous pressure and urgency to the organization's championship pursuit. The addition of Luka Doncic was specifically designed to create a championship window and provide LeBron with the elite co-star necessary to compete against teams like the Thunder, Nuggets, and other Western Conference powerhouses. But the integration process has proven more challenging and time-consuming than many anticipated. The supporting cast around these two superstars, while possessing individual talent and potential, has struggled to provide the consistency, reliability, and complementary skills necessary to elevate the team to true contender status. Players like Austin Reeves have shown flashes of brilliance, but have also demonstrated concerning vulnerability to physical playoff-style basketball. While the front court situation remains unsettled, with DeAndre Ayton still adjusting to his role and Jackson Hayes providing athleticism but lacking consistent production, the upcoming trade deadline and summer free agency period will be absolutely crucial for determining whether the Lakers can address these fundamental issues and surround their star duo with the type of supporting cast that championship teams require. I believe that organizations often reach pivotal moments where they must make honest assessments about their current trajectory and make bold moves to either fully commit to championship contention or begin planning for the future. And the Lakers appear to be approaching exactly such a crossroads. The development of young players like Jake Laravia, Bronny James, Drew Tim, and Eduthio takes on added significance when viewed through this lens of organizational transition and future planning. These players represent not just immediate depth and rotation options, but potentially the foundation for sustained success beyond LeBron's playing career. Laravia's emergence as a reliable two-way player who can defend multiple positions while providing consistent offensive contribution could prove invaluable regardless of how the current championship window evolves. Similarly, Bronny James' gradual development and adjustment to the NBA level, while scrutinized heavily due to his famous parentage, could eventually yield valuable dividends if approached with patience and proper expectation. The Lakers' ability to identify develop, and integrate young talent while maintaining championship competitiveness represents one of their greatest organizational challenges and opportunities. Teams that successfully navigate this balance often position themselves for sustained excellence across multiple seasons and different competitive cycles. Thinking about successful franchises throughout NBA history, the most impressive organizations have consistently demonstrated the ability to cultivate young talent, while maximizing their championship windows with veteran stars, creating a seamless transition that maintains competitive relevance across different eras and roster construction. Looking ahead to the remainder of this season and the critical games that await after the All-Star break, the Lakers find themselves in a position where every game carries heightened significance and every performance becomes a statement about their true championship aspirations and competitive ceiling. The Western Conference playoff picture remains highly competitive and fluid, with teams like the Nuggets, Rockets, and Warriors all capable of making strong second-half surges that could potentially affect the Lakers' positioning and postseason seeding. Home court advantage in the playoffs has historically proven crucial for success, particularly for teams with veteran leadership and established chemistry, making the Lakers' regular season record and final positioning extremely important for their ultimate championship chances. The health and availability of key players will obviously play a major role in determining how successfully they can navigate the remaining schedule, with LeBron's minutes management, Luka's recovery from his hamstring injury, and Austin Reeves' return to full health representing critical factors in their competitive equation. The coaching staff's ability to maximize the potential of role players while maintaining the delicate balance of veteran leadership and youthful energy could prove in close games in crucial moments throughout the playoffs. I believe the championship teams often distinguish themselves not just through talent and star power, but through their ability to adapt, overcome adversity, and find different ways to win when circumstances require flexibility and resilience. Qualities that the Lakers will undoubtedly need to demonstrate if they hope to achieve their ultimate goals this season.